Hello dear guitar friends. Today I'm going to introduce you to the content of the book I spoke to you about in the last video. So in the last video I gave you a small demonstration of what I call the GPS of the fretboard, and the GPS to find the address immediately and to know where everything is, like a taxi driver in fact. Okay, so today I'm going to introduce you to the book itself, and I hope you'll enjoy it because you will be able to see the other side, I mean the concrete side of this book. So let's go. This is a drawing Yves made because his motif was guitar fretboard is enigmatic because it doesn't show anything on it, and you do that avoid even ask the question how to recognize the notes on the name of the fretboard. So these are I cannot tell you everything today. I will underline the most specific things. I think it would be a good idea to introduce the book with telling you the little story of the inventor of the C major scale. So I think you'll enjoy it. Here we are. It's interesting and you will like it and you will not forget it because it's a nice story. So it happened a long time ago, of course. A man walked through his village and suddenly he heard a noise, and he heard a second noise, and he heard a third noise. And these noises, these sounds were all different. They were not unpleasant, they were different. So he looked around and found out that they were all coming from the forger workshop. So he went to see, and he saw the forger knocking with his huge hammer on a piece of hot red iron. And depending on the place where he knocked, the sounds were different. So he organized the sounds, he wrote the frequencies of the sound, and he gave a name to each frequency, and his name is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and the octavio is of course C. And so these little 7 notes, all the music you hear from the littlest baby lullaby to the most sophisticated symphony is based on 7 notes, 12 sounds, all organized in different ways. So I think it's important, not important, but it's funny to know this. It's a nice story. So all the music we hear is based on this, organized by the knocking of a huge hammer on a piece of hot red iron. So it's nice to remember this, okay? Just like this. Okay, so here I give you a scheme where I show you all the G. Of course it's in French, but it will be translated. I don't have any English book anymore. They're all sold out, so I will have to translate. But I will show you here. It's all G's, everywhere G's. And you'll agree with me that knowing, having a tool to identify them and putting them on the right place on your fretboard and remember it, it's cute, it's nice, okay? So here I gave a little word to Yves, the inventor of this method. He found a piece of puzzle that was missing in remembering the notes on the fretboard. Naming the notes by the name and adding the number of the string and adding the number of the fret makes a real identity card for each note, so that you can distinguish each note from the other. Okay? So here give you some indication of mnemotechnique, what can bring you with this method. But then let's go I will turn the pages. Okay, here we have again the drawing. It's the book, in fact. Here is the summary, the content, okay, the index, in fact. And you see with the book, you have here first chapter, right? But we were not satisfied by writing only first chapter. So we we made all the details of what you can find in this chapter. It's not just a chapter, everything is explained why you're going to find this, why we do these exercises, in fact. Okay. So here you have, just a moment, second chapter. Okay, here you have the diagram. So it's very helpful to have mental image to print into your brain, and you will see afterwards what this is for. And here you have, of course, the tabs. Here you have solfeggio. And so, for instance, let's say you don't know solfeggio, but you are inspired with music and you want to, and suddenly one evening you play something and you find that it's a nice sympathetic melody. Yet, how to write it down if you don't know solfeggio? But with the system A.G.T.S you can write all the notes down and remember them, and then also share it with your friends or your musicians that you have in the group or something. Well, that's what we saw last week. I gave you demonstration on first week. So I want to insist on the absolute necessity to have a mental image for your brain to remember. For instance, this you cannot, your brain cannot remember this touch, and the solfeggio, you cannot remember this by heart. That's why when you see a pianist playing, you can see somebody turning the pages so that he can read the notes. So you cannot memorize this. You can memorize this. This is an image, and slowly by slowly you will put on this image in your brain without the guitar. The notes, they will organize themselves, they will print in your mind. So here we have the exercises, okay? All the exercises, I'm not going to go into them now, but I'll show you that it's all very organized, and that is the difference between oral explanations and oral demonstrations with an image, something you can print into your head. So, you see, we have taken, so, and here you have the fifth string, 500, string 500. So, you see, we made a link to the tabs, 3 A note, 3, 600, 503, and with the solfeggio at the same time. And you can see here, you can see that here you have the B, the C, the D, the E, the F, the G, and the A. And they're all written here, and you can find them, you can put them here if you know their number. So it's even helpful for instance, a pianist, someone who plays the piano. With this system, he can immediately adapt his knowledge of the solfeggio to the guitar. Very quick and very easy. So what do we have here? Oh, I mean, I'm not going to go into each string because it's repetitive, okay? Every string has its notes, and they're all the same. So, for instance, yeah, what I can tell you, make a little exercise. Just repeat, for instance, the scale in the order you know, okay? C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then you repeat it on each string. Instead of saying the scale, you start with E, E, F. So we start on each string. For instance, here it starts with D. E, etc. And so if you repeat this often, you will identify immediately the notes that are on each string. Okay, you have the C scale, of course, where you always say the same thing, C, D, E, F, A, G, B, A, B. You say always the same thing. But when you start with the strings, it's not the same, because they all start with a different note. So it's very helpful to know them. So what can I say here? So I'm not going to go into it. It's repetitive, it's always the same. See? Well, yeah, here you have a more sophisticated exercise. So you come from here, you reach the first string, 100, and you go here, and you come back up. So this will create an intuitive way to remember the notes on the string. You know, you won't learn the notes on your fretboard just like by listening to somebody explaining it to you. You have to have an image for your brain, so that your brain can work without the guitar alone. He will create his own network. It's true. That's the magic of the brain. He will create his own network with these indications. And you see, we have all the exercise, and then you have the strings in the middle, because very often the people say, yeah, it's very easy to learn the notes on the first and sixth string. But what about the notes inside? How can we go from one to another? This is difficult, and that's why I am speaking about the GPS or a district or something like that with an address, because you see all the names have the same names. So you have to identify them where they are exactly. In fact, if you start doing this, it will be easier and easier. Okay, that's exercise. That's something that people like a lot, because we isolated each note and we drew a diagram for each note. Very good to memorize. You see, you don't see anything else. You just see this diagram with these notes on them. Here we have the D. We took the D. So we have a D here, a D, a D, a D, a D, a D. On the tab, you have the D too. Difficult to remember, isn't it? And here, I will show you something. Here you have a D, here you have a D, here you have a D, a D, a D, a D, a D. And you can see that this D, and this D is the same. It's at the same place. And this D is also at the same place. But on the guitar fretboard, it's not at the same place. So if you don't know the difference between them, where they are, you do, hey, where I'm going to play this one and this one, or these two ones, they are the same. But on the guitar, they're not the same. So you have to have the number of the string, the number of the fret, and to remember. Otherwise, it's very difficult to remember. How can I do? Oh, yes, you can. By repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. Everybody knows that's why people don't want to learn guitar with solfeggio, because it takes a lot. Well, and here you have, again, the number of the notes on the other page, so that you make an effort to remember the number here. But if you don't remember, you always have this. Everything is done to make it easy for you. Okay, here you have the E, the same. Okay, so you see we have taken, isolated each. Okay, I spoke to you last week about the two notes that are in love with each other. B and C, they're in love with each other. They never separate. Look, they're here, C and Do. There is nothing in between. Mi and Fa, C and Do. No, B and C. I'm sorry, I'm speaking French now. So there is nothing in between, and they're all there. So we put them on the fretboard so that you can also develop a mental image of this. Nice, huh? So here there is a little dexterity exercise when you go from E, F, G, and on the other way around. So these are the scales, but we don't go into it right now because it's too difficult. Here you have the fingering of the scales, and you have all. And you see what is interesting here is that again we separated the neck, the diagram of the neck, into different parts, so that each part can really impress in your head. You can have a mental image. It's very important to have a mental image. Are you still there? Okay, so now I think I showed you a lot. Now I just want to show you about the octavios. Where are they? Okay, I should really les octaves sont I find. Okay, here I am. So, okay. So, here you have, what's that? What is it? Like that. Okay, here you have 3 diagrams for the octavios from up to down for each strings. And here you have the numbers that are in connection with the notes. So this will give you this all will give you an image in your brain, a mental image, a photography, and your brain will never forget it. And so you will be able very quickly to identify where they all are. And here you have the numbers to help you remember too. And here you have the octavios going from bottom to top, again in 3 diagrams. You see we have insisted on drawing diagrams, very clear ones with just small information so that you can print them into your brain. And here you have the numbers again. So yes, here I will show you a little test you can have. This is a test. On this side you have the notes, on this side you have the numbers. So even with somebody who doesn't know how to play the guitar, you can play one, say this, and you guess the other one, or the other one the other way around. And here you have a maxi. This is the whole neck, and here you have a maxi chart with all the notes in between, even those that grow in the little gardens between the houses I showed you last week. They're all here with the numbers. So this is the method, this is the book, and I hope you had a good time. I hope it was not too long, that you really followed, and I hope to see you back very soon with a new video, right? I said a lot today, it's enough. Okay, I hope you're not too tired, and I see you next week. I think it was important to specify this.